Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
And with our powers combined, we are
Garner Brothers movie lovers.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. We are back today and we're going to review a Christmas movie. And right now, you're asking, is it a new, hip, and relevant Christmas movie? To which I would say, ha! And no. No, it is not. But you can take a trip with us down memory lane and join us for a brand new segment called Good Movies We Hate and Bad Movies We Love. To make it on this highly esteemed segment, a film must be loved by the critics and hated by the Garner Brothers, or hated by the critics and loved by the Garner Brothers. And today, for the first ever segment of Good Movies We Hate and Bad Movies We Love, we're looking at Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is a movie about a man named Howard who works too much and didn't spend enough time with his family. He has lost the respect of his son and his wife. Howard has to redeem his status of father and husband by making a series of bad choices like leaving his family on Christmas Eve and, threatening police with bombs and then accidentally have a miracle happen to bring his respect back to his family.
The film was directed by Brian Levant and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, Phil Hartman, Rita Wilson, and a pre-Anakin Skywalker Jake Lloyd.
Little Annie, he's so little.
The score is by David Newman, and it is the best part of the film by a wide margin.
To measure whether or not a movie is good or bad, according to the critics, we will use Rotten Tomatoes. And according to the all-powerful tomato meter, Jingle All the Way is bad. Jingle All the Way has a critical score of 20%. And here are some of my favorite negative reviews. Heather says, Arnold terminates the holiday spirit. Blake Davis says, a career low point for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, even worse than Batman and Robin. Matt Brunson says, watching Arnold Schwarzenegger take a stab at lighthearted comedy is often like watching a whale try to maintain its balance on a gymnastics beam. So you guessed it. Chris and I love this movie. Chris loves this movie so much that he gifts his wife, kids, and himself a brand new Blu-ray copy of this film every year for Christmas. He currently owns 108 copies of Jingle All the Way on Blu-ray. Isn't that right, Chris?
No. Bad movies we love is a big misnomer, this video. We do not love this movie. Josh loves this movie.
I wanted you to rewatch it and have a change of heart so bad. All right, so we're having a bit of a civil war on this one, which was another idea we've been tossing around. Ideas of movies that we have vastly different opinions on. Chris doesn't love this movie.
I do not.
But I do. I love this dumb movie.
It is a giant, heaping, steaming pile of awful. It is so bad. All of the performances are terrible. Every character is abominable. There is no one in this movie to cheer for. Everyone is the worst. The story makes no sense. It's just so bad. And the finale has the worst special effects I've ever seen. It's like Home Improvement level special effects in a feature film. I mean, The Rocketeer came out 6 years earlier and looks 10,000 times better than this, doing the same kind of thing. It's just awful.
Now, I'll have to add, I don't think this is a good movie, but I do love it. So, there's admittedly a lot of nostalgia for this. When I was a little kid, I watched this movie every Christmas season and loved it so much as a kid. But there's a bunch of stupid stuff about this movie that I like. I love how angry Sinbad is about everything that's going on.
Because I work for the post office, so you know I'm not stable. Tell him.
This man is totally insane.
Think Thank you.
At the time that movie came out, going postal
Yeah.
was like a phrase that everybody used all the time because mailmen had been going nuts and having serious rage issues. I don't know what it was at that time in the world's history, but for some reason we all started associating rage monsters with postal workers, and Sinbad's character was born.
And one of my favorite things, he says,
You know it's all a ploy, don't you?
Ploy.
Man, where have you been? Don't you watch TV? We are being set up by rich and powerful toy cartels.
Oh, come
Now you
on.
got the-
and then later, there's a powerful toy cartel full of evil Santas that's run by Jim Belushi and Danny Woodburn from Seinfeld. And I love that whole scenario of these like underground black market toy sellers who are all like super evil and taking themselves very seriously, but also all wearing Santa costumes.
Can I tell you, the part that made me laugh the loudest is not something from the film. It was something my 5-year-old daughter said.
Okay.
You see the scene where all the Santas get arrested, right? And then at the end, at the parade, there's this giant marching band of Santas. She sees this and she goes, "What? How did they get out of jail?"
That's awesome. I love the bomb scene. That scene is objectively hilarious. And I think if you don't think it's funny, you're lying.
That scene made me laugh. When it turns out to be an actual bomb, I laughed.
That was really a bomb? Just a sick world we're living in. Sick people.
I also laughed pretty good when Arnold Schwarzenegger kicks a flaming wise man head through his neighbor's window.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
I thought that was pretty funny too.
There's a lot of really irreverent stuff like that I think is really funny. I like when he starts ripping apart the cardboard Turbo Man at the mall. And I loved when he punched the reindeer in the face. I love how he slowly starts to slip into madness and he steals the neighbor kid's toy. And I loved watching Arnold Schwarzenegger punch a bunch of Santas in a factory with a big candy cane.
This movie is better listening to you talk about it than it is in real life.
Probably my favorite part of the whole movie. They're at the mall and they're doing this weird like bouncy ball lottery or something. They throw the bouncy balls in the air. They play the song "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year" while all these grown-ups are in slow motion scrambling all over the floor to get these bouncy balls and choking each other out and fighting each other, hitting each other with their purses. I think there's also a couple of iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger lines in this movie that are not appreciated enough. I love when he chases that bouncy ball into the playground and all the moms start hitting him with their purses and they call him a pervert and he's like, "I'm not the pervert." And I really, really like the scene when he's on the phone.
Put the cookie down.
Yeah, put the cookie down.
Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les. Put that cookie down now!
You're right. None of it makes sense. It's crazy. The way he makes things right is because somebody accidentally thinks that he is the guy there to be Turbo Man, and they just dress him up without, like, confirming anything.
Right here. And
While he's hiding from the police, I did think that the line was funny when the guy's like telling him as he's getting dressed and stuff, like, you know, "Hey, the guy who was supposed to do this."
Oh, and you should know the doctor said Pete actually showed some brain activity this morning. Yeah, that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
I love when all the little minions come out and they all climb on Arnold, and one of the guys is like,
Don't you know the choreography?
"Is that part of the choreography? You're just supposed to actually beat him up?" Yeah, is this movie good? No. But do I love it? Yeah, I do. But what I want to know is if you love this movie.
I think your enjoyment of this movie depends entirely on what year you were born. I think I was a little too old when this movie came out to have any nostalgia for it. To me, it's just a movie full of horrible people doing horrible things to each other for horrible reasons, and I don't find it very funny, with a few exceptions.
I was watching it with Leah and James. When Arnold takes the helmet off and reveals that it's him, Leah got like so excited and was all freaking out.
Ruth, I mean, she just screamed. She was so excited at that moment, even though she knew he was the guy, right? Like, she knows that's him, but he takes off the helmet and Oh, the music just swells, and
music,
she was like,
yeah. Oh man, I loved this movie so much when I was little. I had all the same feels. Anyway, let us know what you think of this dumb movie that I like.
yeah, I want people to weigh in. If you watch this video and you have feelings about Jingle All the Way, sound off in the comments. Tell us, is this movie worthy of love or hatred? Let's see where the audience falls on this one, since it's a civil war.
Yeah. Is Chris right or am I right? It's gonna be a bad one because technically I said you were right already.
But there may be other people with nostalgia. Go ahead and include your birth year when you tell us whether
yes.
you love it or not, because my guess is that everyone who loves it is going to be born within a pretty specific window of time.
That's probably true, yeah. So include your birthday and your social security number.
And your bank account.
Your bank account information, and that would be good if you did that, and you wouldn't regret it. All right, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Pew, pew, pew.